today a little bit about Yom Kippur, and of course one of the most important components of Yom Kippur is the idea of tshuva. What actually is tshuva? Of course, the classical question is, let's say a person was never religious their whole life, how do they possibly do tshuva? How do they possibly do repentance and return to a place where they never were? So the Gemara Nida explains a very interesting idea. It says that when a baby is inside its mother's womb, it actually learns with an angel the entire Torah. And it also has a little candle that illuminates from its forehead from one end of the universe to the other. That might be spatial, that might be time. But the bottom line is that all of creation is understood in our very essence and in our bones. Ironically, at the moment that the baby is leaving the womb, an angel that he's been learning with all of this time punches him under the nose, makes this little spot here, and according to our tradition, voila, everything that he learned has been forgotten. Of course, the question is then why go through the whole process? And the answer is because there are many times when you hear something you've never heard before, but you'll say, yeah, that sounds correct, because you intuitively understand truth is in your bones, it's in your being and in your essence. So therefore, Yom Kippur becomes a time where we return to our essence. We come back into our heart. What began in our mind on Rosh Hashanah, on the mind of the year, the beginning, the head of the year, now comes and culminates into the heart. Because a person who's only cerebral might be having a lot of wisdom, may be filled with a lot of knowledge, but it's only the wisdom of the heart that helps them use that knowledge in a practical and healthy and productive manner. So therefore, the completion of the person is not merely the brain, it's the brain united together with the heart. The Rambam points out that the tshuva process actually goes through 3 stages. He calls it regret, I'm going to use the word apology, and the acceptance about not repeating again. Now, regret's a very interesting thing because the Talmud says that even evil people are filled with regret. It says, Rishoyim malei charatinhen, they are filled with regret. So how could it be, therefore, that regret is the first process of this really positive being of tshuva when even the Rishoyim do that? The hint is actually in the word for an evil person, rasha. It's really a bad translation to call him evil, because rasha comes from the word rash, which means noise. It means simply that a person whose thinking and their being are not clear and organized, they are in a state of confusion. So even though their head is confused, we are all human beings. And even a Rasha is a human being. And even God waits for the Rasha to do tshuva on his last breath, because we should never give up hope about any human being, no matter how seemingly evil they have become, because they still will have somewhere in them a heart. And that heart regret is like that little spark plug. The only problem is they can't turn the engine over. So they can't make the next step, which is the apology. Because that which reinforces the evil person is their arrogance and their ego, symbolized by Pharaoh. It was impossible for him to admit that he was mortal. That's why Pharaoh said he never went to the bathroom. That's why God told Moses to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and catch Pharaoh while he was slipping out the back door going to the bathroom. In fact, when they met, Pharaoh was going from leg to leg because he was just waiting urgently to get to the bathroom. And he says to Moses, what do you want? And Moses says, let my people go. And Pharaoh says, fine, let me go, I'll let your people go. Right? It was like a deal. But somebody who's filled with arrogance and ego, they cannot apologize. This, of course, was the Jewish take on the original sin. The sin was not eating. The sin was the arrogance of not admitting to the mistake and apologizing. And then the third and the most important thing is the acceptance to not to sin again. Now really, are we liars? Every year we come Yom Kippur, we say, really, I'm so sorry, I'll never do this again. And we do. So what's it all about? Well, it's all about dayenu. It's not about all or nothing. It's about the little gains. As long as we were able to move the needle one more notch, even though we haven't accomplished our goal, we are on the right path. And that's real tshuva. For Jews, it's not about being, it's about becoming. Every year, we become more and more. May we be blessed that we should be inscribed in a book of life to become even more better than we've been in the past.